Have you ever walked into a crowded room and felt your whole body tense up? Like your senses were absorbing too much, too fast? It's not anxiety, it's not shyness. Psychology says people who feel uncomfortable in crowds often have a completely different kind of nervous system, one that processes noise, emotion, and energy more deeply than others. Let's break down what's really happening inside the mind of someone who prefers quiet over chaos, and why that's not a weakness, but a form of quiet intelligence. You ever walk into a crowded place and instantly feel like your whole system clenches? The lights are too bright, the voices blend into static, the air feels thick, like it's pushing against your skin. It's not fear, not exactly, but it's definitely not comfort either. You try to stay calm, you smile, make small talk, pretend you're fine, but inside, you're already counting the minutes until you can leave. And you wonder, why does this feel so hard? You're not shy, you're not antisocial, you don't even dislike people. So why does being in a crowd make your body feel like it's screaming for space? There's a kind of overwhelm that most people don't see, a kind that doesn't look like panic but feels like exhaustion. And if you felt it too, it's not just you. Psychology offers a deeper answer. For some people, crowds are stimulating. They feel alive in noise, motion, attention, energy. But your system is different. You might have a highly sensitive nervous system, something that affects around 15 to 20% of people. It means your brain doesn't filter stimulation the same way most people's do. Instead of tuning things out, it takes everything in. Every flicker of light, every overlapping conversation, every subtle shift in emotion in the room. It's not just loud, it's layered. Imagine trying to focus with 10 browser tabs open, all playing different songs, while someone whispers your name from every direction. That's what crowds feel like to you. Not dangerous, just too much. This isn't about social skills, it's about sensory thresholds. And once you understand that, the shame starts to lift. You're not overreacting, you're just wired to notice and absorb more than most people do. There's a quiet math that happens inside your mind when you're around too many people. You start measuring how much of yourself you can afford to show and how much you need to protect. You might become quieter, more observant, less animated. Not because you're rude or withdrawn, but because your system is trying to regulate. You're absorbing emotions without trying, reading body language without meaning to, catching tension in the air before anyone even speaks. You're not avoiding connection, you're just trying not to drown in it. Some people recharge in crowds, others get depleted. And if you're the latter, that's not a weakness, that's self preservation. One of the least talked about differences between extroverts and more sensitive, inward facing people is dopamine. Extroverts tend to have a dopamine system that lights up in social stimulation. They feel good around people, alert, rewarded, energized. But your system may work differently. If you have lower baseline dopamine or your receptors process it more cautiously, then big groups won't excite you. They'll drain you. You won't feel buzzed, you'll feel overstimulated. So while everyone else talks faster, laughs louder, and feeds off the collective spark, you're managing your internal signal overload. And when it gets too much, your brain might quietly start to shut the doors. It's not broken, it's adaptive. Some people sprint through crowds, others walk slowly, noticing everything. Both are valid, but one is a lot more exhausting. There's something crowds often demand: performance, smile, engage, keep up. But when your inner world runs deep, that demand can feel like emotional whiplash. You're not someone who fakes interest well. You can't do shallow conversation on command. You don't switch from introspection to excitement without a cost. So you pull inward. You observe instead of participating. You sense rather than speak. And while others see this as quiet, what's actually happening is far more complex. You're tracking micro expressions, noticing shifts in tone, watching the emotional temperature of the room fluctuate in real time. It's not withdrawal, it's emotional vigilance. You see too much to act like it's nothing. Empathy isn't just kindness, it's a neurological mirror. And if you're someone with strong mirror neurons, your brain quite literally echoes the emotions of the people around you. That means in a crowded space, you're not feeling one thing, you're feeling everything. Joy from one corner, anxiety from another, irritation floating just beneath someone's laughter. Even unspoken tension sticks to you. Your body carries the mood of the room long after you leave it. It's why you can feel exhausted after a birthday party. It's why you need silence after a group dinner. You weren't just being social, you were emotionally multitasking without even realizing it. And your system needs recovery. Here's another layer most people miss. In crowds, something strange happens to identity. People begin to perform. They become louder, more agreeable, more polished. And that's not inherently bad, it's human. But for someone who craves emotional honesty, it can feel disorienting. You see the subtle edits, the tiny masks, the way people shift to be more likable, more acceptable, more included. And deep down, it starts to feel like everyone's disappearing behind a version of themselves. That's where your discomfort sharpens because you don't want to connect with someone's performance. You wanted to connect with them. In a world that praises charisma, your soul longs for truth. And in a crowd full of personas, you feel lonelier than when you're alone. You might feel most alive in quiet moments. Late night walks, empty cafes, rain hitting windows, a single friend beside you, not speaking, just being. These aren't escapes. They're your real world. Because in solitude, you return to yourself. In silence, you can finally hear your own thoughts again. Your nervous system loosens its grip. You're not disconnected from the world. You're just reconnecting with yourself, what others call isolation. You call peace. And that's not dysfunction, that's self knowledge. Feeling uncomfortable in crowds doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means your body, your brain, your emotions are asking for something different. Space, honesty, calm. You don't thrive in chaos. You thrive in coherence. And when you begin to understand that, really understand it, you stop forcing yourself to fit in. You start choosing environments that fit you. You protect your time. You honor your rhythms. You build a life with space in it. And in doing so, you stop performing for the world and start living in alignment with yourself. The next time someone asks why you're so quiet in a room full of people, you don't need to explain. Just smile gently because they don't realize what your silence contains. A mind that listens deeply, a heart that feels widely, a spirit that values meaning over noise. You're not missing out. You're tuning in to what's real, to what's true, to what your nervous system has been whispering all along. Peace is not a preference, it's a need. And in choosing peace over performance, you're not avoiding life, you're finally living it on your own terms. Do you feel more at ease in quiet places than in crowded ones? Have you ever blamed yourself for needing space even though it felt right? What do you wish people understood about your silence? If this story spoke to something in you, take a second to like the video, subscribe, press the bell icon, and share this with someone who also chooses peace over chaos. Our other stories should be appearing on your screen now. Watch them next, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same time with a brand new video.